Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, my very dear sisters. Inshallah, today we will try to cover ayah number 7 to ayah number 10 of Surah Nisa, inshallah. Let's inshallah start. نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي آمين يا رب العالمين ربي يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير آمين يا رب العالمين. Okay, so my dear sisters, what we are going to start is from ayah number 7. And before we start ayah number 7, I want to go over very quickly the distribution of inheritance before Islam, meaning what was a trend before Islam. So the Arabs, they used to distribute the inheritance using one of the three ways. So the first one is what you are seeing is with the through alliance. Okay, so it's also called the confederacy, and the person who you will be inheriting is called the Halif. And what is meant by that? The person, it's this particular person is not related through blood. He would just say to the other person that, my life is your life and my blood is your blood. And so forth is the case with inheritance. My inheritance is your inheritance and vice versa. So what will happen due to this concept is there won't be any share distributed among the heirs. So they are deprived, and that particular person, the tribe, is going to get the share. The second system that was in place was called the system of mutabanni, which is called using the words you are having adopted children. So by this concept, again, the same thing happened. The adopted son used to get all the share, and nothing was left for the actual relatives. Then was the third one, which may be the case nowadays too, and which is the oldest and the strongest and aggressive one is going to get everything. And again, the one which are deserving, including the women and the little children or the weak ones in the society, they were deprived of their share. So when the ayahs from Quran came, so they were like, I would say, the paradigm shift, meaning sort of a groundbreaking idea, which was ayah number 7, starting from ayah number 7. And this ayah is saying, لِرِجَالِ نَصِيبٌ مِمَّا تَرَكَ الْوَالِدَانِ وَالْأَقْرَبُونَ. For the men as a fixed portion from what the two parents are going to leave and the akrabun are going to leave. وَالنِّسَاءِ نَصِيبٌ. And also for the women is what is going to be left, meaning that the walidain, the two parents leave, and the wal akrabun, meaning the closest relatives leave. So both of them are going to get share. Mimma, from what? Qalla minhu, it's shortage of them, meaning the lesser part, or if it is more, or katharu, kathura. If the share is doesn't matter how big and small, these two categories are going to inherit. And the important thing is inheritance is through nasiba mafruda. There are fixed obligatory shares. This is just like we have the different the Hajj is obligatory on us, or Salah is obligatory on us, or Zakat is obligatory on us. Same is the case with inheritance, and this is a big statement. Many times we ignore this one, and while we are struggling to take care of the other ones, this one even doesn't come up in the mind. Okay, so and we are going to remind ourselves while we are going to open this ayah, Inna Allaha kana alaykum raqiba. Without taqwa, without the conscience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, sticking to these concepts, adhering to the teachings of the ayahs, it's very difficult. Okay, so let's inshallah start. Le rejali, the men. This is the plural for the word rajul, and the men that also includes the small, weak ones, and also the ones who are not that strong. Okay, so there is a nasib. Nasaba is to fix, yeah. So the fixed shares, fixed marked portions. Portion is from what the two parents left, and wal akrabun, and the akrabun left. Yeah, what is meant by the word al akrabun? Qurb is the Qaraba root letter. Qurb means the close, to be close. And akrabun, when you hear about the word al akrabun, want you to keep that in mind. This includes two categories. One of them is through the blood relationships, meaning just imagine you going up and down. So you are the middle one, and you have the parents, and then comes from you, the children. Okay, so these three things: parents, you, and the children. They are the akrabun, al-akrabun. Okay, keep in mind, it does not include any of your cousins or the other relatives. They are the different category, but not akrabun. Okay, akrabun are very, very specific, meaning your relationship through your your parents, with the parents, and your children, and then your spouse. These are the akrabuns. Not even included in this are the siblings. Okay, keep that in mind. So the parents, children, and spouse, and they are the direct heirs of the deceased. Okay, then comes important part, that both the men will have the share, also the women will have the share. So one thing was to point out, to highlight, no matter what kind of men you are talking about, whether that person is very strong or that's very weak, every that all of them are going to inherit. Okay, and then comes the part which was very new for the Arabs, which is, women are also going to inherit. This is something new. This was very, 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 very odd. One of the very strong impact of Islam you will notice is the rights given to the weaker member of society, right? The women, also the little children or the orphans. And with this, I would like to remind you the names of the surah. So surah is named. One of the name is very common, and this is it is known by that name, which is Suratun An-Nisa. The second names, remember, we were talking about it in the first ayah, or actually the introduction, Suratul Rahma. Yeah. So Suratul Rahma, keep that in mind. Also Suratul Adl. Yeah. So Suratul Adl and Suratul Rahma. Now you are going to see in ayah, starting from ayah number 7 and onwards, how it has each and every word, and the hukum, the command, is going to highlight the adl and the mercy and the hikmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? So yes, we are going to give the inheritance to the men, also the women. Then what comes next is very important part. Mimma qalla minhu aw kathur. Meaning that doesn't matter how big or small the portion is. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It needs to be divided to both men and the women. Okay, it's very important lesson. It needs to be divided between both. Qalil means to be the short, something short, and the kasra of something means something is in abundant, right? So it doesn't matter. Also, my dear sisters, focus on this word. Mimma taraka, mimma qalla minhu aw kathur. Everything is going to be given an inheritance. It does not only include your wealth, meaning the cash money, or your stock, if you are have spent in the stocks, that type of money, or your house or your land. It doesn't include only that. Also, everything that you will see that you are using on a daily basis, that is also the part of inheritance. Meaning your, just imagine your fridge, or you're talking about a TV. Yeah, that is also the part of inheritance. It needs to be given an inheritance. And everything, your books, yeah, or your glasses, subhanallah, your ornaments, jewelry, everything is going to be inherited. And again, we are going to remind ourselves, it's going to be equally inherited. So whenever we talk about inheritance, do not only label the inheritance to the houses and the land. Please, we should be very clear. And also, important thing, it needs to be given to both. Why? Nasiba mafruda. There are fixed portions. Therefore, both, this is nasiban as a portion, mafruda fard. Can you imagine? This is the obligatory things by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is fard on us to make sure the inheritance is distributed based on what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned, and further elaborated are the ahadith about it, right? So we are going to remind ourselves, doesn't matter if everyone is going to inherit it, meaning the direct heirs, they are all going to inherit, no matter how they are. If they're very poor, they will inherit. If they're very rich, they will inherit. So keep that in mind. Okay, so every kid is going to be treated the same, as mentioned, as their portion is fixed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as mentioned in Quran. Okay, so what we are learning here is, in order to you can say, bring the best out of society, we need to take care of the small little household first. Yeah, it starts from there. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala we are learning from these ayahs that your adl, your rahmah, starts from the household, then comes to the upper level, and or open to the society. Without this, we won't be able to maintain the adl in the society. Okay, so next comes and next ayah, inshallah, let's go and see what are we going to be learning from ayah number 8. So, وَإِذَا حَضَرَ الْقِسْمَةَ, and when they are present. Hadara, to be present. Al-Qismata, time of distribution. Who is present? Right? So the who is present, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning Ulul Qurba, the close relatives. Again, they are not the closest ones. They are not the direct heirs. They are not the ones, my dear sisters, for whom the shares are already mentioned in ayahs, in Quran. They are not those, okay? So excluding those, and wal yatama, and the orphans, and masakin, and the needy ones, if they are present at the time of distribution, what are we supposed to be doing? Farzuquhum min, meaning give them something from it. Meaning from what? From the inheritance. Yeah. So if whatever is left, whatever we are getting from the disease, if there is somebody present around at the time of division, be very gentle, be very kind, have adab, and do not lose this opportunity of doing good to these three categories of people. Okay, and not only provide them, meaning give them some provision, also قولوا لهم قولا معروفا, talk to them in a qawl which is good, meaning not only do ihsan bil fail, also ihsan bil lisan. Yeah, so both, take care of both. So now imagine something here. I want you to just imagine that you are living in a joint family system. Yeah, and you have lots of kids in the family are there. Brothers are, just imagine three brothers are living together, and one of the brother died, and that brother is going there. His, his inheritance is going to be distributed. Now there are cousins around, and there are other people around, meaning the person who has been taking care of this family, maybe in the form of a servant, or just imagine their old driver. The driver is there. They have a same driver for the last 30 years. He is around at this time. The wealth is being distributed, and your the relatives which are needy ones, they are around. They may not ask for it, but if they're present, meaning they have some expectations, right? And we all have some expectations, right? And whenever there's something is being distributed, we all want to get something, yeah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is how this is so important for us to see how this surah is telling us about the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, though they are not the direct heirs, but have some mercy for them. Do good thing here. And subhanallah, I want you all to focus on the sequence. So ulul qurba first, and then yatama, and then comes masakin. My dear sisters, many times it is important. It is very easy. I would say relatively easy to spend on somebody needy or yatim or orphans. It is easy to spend on these two groups. The reason being, we don't have any expectations back from them, right? But when it comes to relatives, there comes a problem. Yeah, because lots of expectations, and then there are lots of feelings and negativity and some grudges, all that comes in play when we are talking about spending on them. Yeah, we can give any yatim, we can make them give them a lot of the scholarship, or we can help them with their lab workup or anything. But when it comes to the relatives, there comes our sort of that weak part of our nature that comes out. And it is important, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, how is he saying? First, this is a right of ulul qurba, the relatives, then are the yatim, and then masakin. And you will notice whenever there is a concept of giving, this sequence is followed usually. Yeah. And actually, as far as I remember, every time ulul qurba comes first, then yatim, and then masakin, because the difficult, there's, this group can be little tricky. So we are reminded, this is how it should be going. It doesn't make any sense that you have given, just imagine $10,000 zakat to Shaukat Khanum, and your own relatives is dying of hunger, or meaning he's living in a state like he's been asking everyone else around, but not you. So we need to keep in mind about this thing, okay? And also when we talk about giving to these people which are non-heirs, so they are not the direct heirs. They are not given any nasiba mafruda. Keep in mind they are there, but I should say they are not. They don't deserve the direct inheritance to be given to them. Keep in mind, my dear sister, this is by the mutual consultation. Okay. So what do I mean by that? Suppose if your father is staying with you. You have been taking care of your dad for the last 5 years, right? Okay, so you that the dad is with you. So now there's the dad pass away, and there are lots of things that dad has left behind, meaning he owned a car, and there was also his belongings, meaning his books, and he has a laptop, he has an iPad and all that stuff. My dear sisters, each and everything that your dad is leaving is going to be distributed by your mutual understanding. This is, you cannot say, as the dad was living with me, I am going to decide where these things are going to go. Meaning, one of the iPad is with your kid, and the other sibling is taking the other thing. This is not right. Okay. And subhanAllah, this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is very clear about these things. As we learned here, whatever they left, from whatever they left, they have a nasibul mafruda. Keep this word in mind. So please do not make this deed of yours among the bad deeds. Yeah. So keep that in mind, because we sometimes, these things are very important, but for some reason they escape. And I'm learning so much by reviewing these ayahs again. That subhanallah, I did these ayahs maybe like 3 years ago, and I forgot about them. Subhanallah. So good reminder for all of us that everything needs to be distributed, and when you are giving to non-heirs, you need to have a mutual consultation before you do that. Okay. And then we are going to remind ourselves, once we are doing that, if we are giving somebody but through mutual agreement, we need to be very kind in our words too, not that we are trying to make them realize that we have done ihsan on them. Yeah. Or so say somebody is the old driver is there, and he tells you, after you give him the share, I was expecting more. You are not going to blast off at that time. Yeah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us, because we can do so. Look at how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows us so well. And we do it very often, actually. Let's look, I've already given them, and they're still asking. These people are never happy. We can do that thing. So we are reminded, qawlam marufa, the qawl which is good. Okay, so again, ihsan through lisan and ihsan through fail. Okay, so Alhamdulillah, let's go to our next ayah. And my dear sisters, again and again and again, taqwa is the backbone of all these lessons. If you know Allah, if you know that He's watching over us, and He is inna Allah kana alaykum raqiba, then getting these things and implementing these things will be super easy, inshallah. Okay, so let's look at ayah number nine now. So in ayah number 8, we heard about how merciful Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, that He's reminding us how to treat non-heirs. Okay, in ayah number 9, direct commands about how to take care of orphans. Subhanallah, it's so important. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keeps talking about orphans, keep talking about the weak members of society. So it's so amazing how how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to make sure that we are keeping a good side of ours wherever we are. Okay. So let's see what this ayah number 9 talking about. Let me just quickly do the running translation, okay? And let those وَلْيَخْشَ الَّذِينَ, and let those fear لَوْ تَرَكُوا مِنْ خَلْفِهِمْ, if they left after them ذُرِّيَّةً, offsprings which are ضعيفة, which are ضعيف, weak. Okay? خَافُوا عَلَيْهِمْ, they should be afraid of them. They should be conscious about them. فَلْيَتَّقُوا اللَّهَ, then they should fear Allah. وَلْيَقُولُوا قَوْلًا سَدِيدًا, and they should talk to them sadida, the right, the qawl, meaning the statements which are right. Okay, let's go back. The first word, وَلْيَخْشَى. This lam that you are seeing in the beginning is the lam of amr, the lam of command. Okay, what does it mean by that? Meaning they should, let those, meaning they should fear. Yeah, they should, and again, the taqwa and khashiyah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they should fear. Now there are three opinions about it. Who should fear? Yeah, who should fear? So the first one, the dying person should fear. When he is writing his wasiya, he should fear about about the distribution being equal among all the siblings, all the children, I should say, all the children. Yeah, he should not deprive any one of the right. And again comes the idea where one son is very rich and the other one is not that not that rich. We cannot do, we cannot decide on our own how much to give, how to whom. The daughters are given, they are assigned a specific share. Again, Nasima Mafruda, they will get that share no matter how rich they are. If their husband is super rich and super successful, doesn't matter. They need to be given their share. Okay. So dying person should be very conscious about it. He should not make I should say immature decisions at that time, because he should not, he should be afraid that he will leave behind the daif children. Another opinion is, who should fear the, if so suppose if you are sitting with a dying person, and you are the one who is giving suggestions or advice to the dying person. So when you are doing that, make sure that you do not let that dying person make a wrong or unjust uh, wasiya. Make sure that he keeps all those shares in mind. And again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala subhanallah, it's so important. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding us, because this can happen. Sometimes we do that, that son was not good. He was never around you, or he has left you and is gone there. And he's left, and he's in America, or he's like, he has not been around you. So his share should not be the same as the one who is really living with you and is taking care of you. No, it's not allowed. So be careful about that. And then the third category who should be fearful are the awliyas or the guardians. The awliyas and the guardians should be very conscious about it. That what if they die, and then what if their kids are all alone, and how would they want their own kids to be treated? So they should be conscious about that. Okay. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, فَلْيَتَّقُوا اللَّهَ, they should have taqwa of Allah, because without that, you cannot do the first part. Everything that we do, my dear sisters, is subhanallah, it goes back to taqwa. This is the surah of taqwa, the rahmah, the adl. Yeah. So we are going to remind ourselves that we are going to keep in mind that these, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is again, inna Allah kana alaykum raqiba, is all watching. His hand is all over your neck. Yeah. So just keep in mind. So 3 categories. Okay. People are mentioned here. And my dear sister, this word, diafan, it's the singular for this word is daif. And the word daif is somebody who is weak. Okay, so weak can be the little children, yeah, or the people who are not that sound in their intellect. So they should be taken care of very carefully. Meaning, the rights of orphans are Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala making sure that He points out to us and be careful in their matter. Okay. And then we are seeing here, وَلْيَقُولُوا, and how we are going to talk to them, how to talk to them. And the qawlan, the statement which are sadid. The word sadda, yasuddu, it means to be straight, to be to the point. Okay. So meaning this word also goes for the statements which are, or the advices which are very correct. It's very clear. There is no ambiguity in it. And that is very appropriate. Yeah, so we need to keep these few things in our mind whenever we are advising or when we are talking to the orphans, that we have this thing in mind. And it's very difficult, we can go off. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding us that please, they should be afraid of this thing. And again, that we cannot do without keeping in our mind the concept of taqwa. Okay, let's inshallah keep going. And ayah number 10, what we are learning, Inna ladina, again the rights of orphans. SubhanAllah, it's very scary ayah. Inna ladina, those who, ya'kuluna amwal al yatama, who devour, who consume the mal of yatama. Yeah, out of zulm, meaning out of injustice. They're doing it out of zulm. Innama ya'kuluna fi butunihim nara. It is just like they are actually consuming fire. وَيَصْلَوْنَ سَعِيرًا, and they will be burnt. SubhanAllah, they will roast in this hot fire. So let's look at the word akala, as I have already talked about this word. Akala is to consume. And SubhanAllah, if you consume something, it cannot be given back. Yeah. So consuming, just imagine that you are busy enjoying it. You are on it. You are not taking care of it. Anything around you, there is a favorite food that you are enjoying at that particular time, and you don't care about your environment. Yeah. So it's same thing. If you have that type of attitude with the mal of yatama, you are not actually eating the mal. What you are eating is a fire. Yeah. And so you are consuming, you're devouring the fire. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is all watching. We become so oblivious, and we become so we are so distracted in all these matters. We don't even care. Yeah, we don't even care. We do not even suggest our. So suppose your spouse is they are there is a distribution of wealth going on in your in-laws, and you want your husband to get the most. Yeah, you are in during that time. There is no filter. You do not have any ability to control your emotions, and you are just not making any sense, my dear sisters. And at that point of time, we are supposed to remind ourselves, whatever you are going to take anything, if you take anything out of zulm, may that be the dharra. Yeah. Wailul lil mutaffifin. That is going to be the fire for us. We are just consuming fire. Just imagine a very bad heartburn that is going to keep you awake all night long. So just imagine, how can you consume fire? Yeah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so merciful. He is mentioning it's not only in dunya that you are going to be getting the consequence. Also, you will go and get yaslauna sa'ira. What is meant by solaya? Yaslauna, root letter is for the say yaslauna is solaya. This root letter means to roast in the fire. Okay, meaning we will be roasted in a blazing fire. Yeah. So we are going to remind ourselves that we are not going to do that. Okay. And also the word Sair, Sur is the heat or the hotness. This word Saira, this means Sur is the heat or the hotness. Also the insanity or the madness. Okay. And Sara is to set a fire on. Okay. So Saira, the word is meant by this word, the heat, hotness, or being insane, or being in a state of madness. So subhanallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us a warning. If you do that, meaning either consume the mal of yatim in any way, shape, or form, that might be just imagine that you are distributing, like they are coming to stay with you, and you are giving your child the big piece of meat, and these guys are getting the smaller one. Subhanallah, this is we need to be careful about that. Yeah, and your child is having the comfiest, coziest comforter, and you are not selecting the same level for them, for the orphans, or for the ones who are weak. So make sure that we are very conscious about it. We have the taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we do the qawlan which is maroof and the qawlan which is sadida. Okay, with that small little reminder, inshallah, we will be ending our session here. And inshallah, I will see you with ayah number 11 and 12 of Surah Nisa in the next session. Let's end here. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Nashhadu la ilaha illa ant. Nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my very dear sisters.